Hey guys, how's it going? It's Etanyos here. Welcome to episode 6 of this Hamilton Tigers franchise mode on NHL 20. Today, guys, we are going to be jumping into the 2021/22 season. If you missed the last episode, well, then you missed kind of getting to see how our lines have turned out, and honestly, they're looking pretty good. I'm fairly happy with how everything's turning out here. We got some rookies in the team, as in Brian Steves. Lafreniere's in his second year. I mean, he's looking to get a couple more than 38 points this season, and I mean, he's playing on a line that he definitely could do that with. Looking on the defensive side, our top pairing there is technically 93 rated, so there really is no question about how good this team could be. But at the same time, we're still just considered hopeful, mainly because of our goaltending here. We have 2 backup goalies rather than a starter, and that just happened from trades and things like that. If we go over to the AHL, slightly different look. I'm actually fairly happy with how things have turned out here in the AHL. I am looking to keep certain players such as Miles Wood, but I am looking to move guys like Shane Prince. We don't need him anymore. What we need is centers, and if you look in the center depth column here, we literally only have Jakobsen and Van de Velde. So we are playing Noel Gunler at center because he has 73 faceoffs. He's good enough to hold his own line here in the AHL. And if you look through, we actually have a lot of prospects in here that we are going to be able to keep. Unfortunately, guys like Vetrano and certain players are going to be on the move at the end of this season. But no, Braxton Walton, Bjorkstrand, Jakobsen, Samsonov, Nylander, Gunler, Venkateshin, and then even Miroslav Mihalik. All those guys are drafted by us, so this system is starting to actually take shape now since we've drafted so well over the past few years. Looking at the defense, this top 4 is all players that we have not drafted. They're all from different systems. And then the bottom pairing here, Sean Bengoa and Jaden Emery, are both Hamilton drafted players, obviously at very different picks there, 13 versus 67. If we look through the rest of the team here, we're looking to move a lot of these guys. A guy like Guryanov, he still holds a little bit of value, but we just need to get him on the move, get him to a different system because we are ruining his career here. So I think the players we're looking to trade are Guryanov, Hervik, Trop, and even a guy like what's his name here? Even a guy like Shane Prince. So we are going to be looking into trades for, well, one, big contracts, because currently we have $10 million free in cap space. And, well, the first guy that I thought would actually work pretty well with what we're looking for here was from the Anaheim Ducks here, Ryan Kesler, currently playing in the AHL. Only got 1 year left, so that's perfect for what we need. And we're going to end up trading guys like, maybe not Miles Wood necessarily, but guys like Guryanov. And who else did I have up there listed? I was also talking about Prince. So if we could move these 2 guys in exchange for Ryan Kesler and maybe like a 4th round pick or something like that, then that would be very solid. That looks like a good trade to me. And Anaheim accepts that, so that is good to see. Let's go assistant GM best roster just for now. And Miles Wood gets named alternate captain. Okay. And then the other system I was looking into, well, we could go for Luch, but I don't think that necessarily makes sense to try and pick up a player like a winger like that. We're looking more into centers. So, yeah. We're just looking for low value, high money centers right now because we still have about $4 million free in cap space. McKinnon is insane, man. He's only $6.3 million as well. That's ridiculous. Jeez. Boone Jenner's real low there. No, I'm looking for centers. So what do we have for center options here? Essentially, that's crazy. Look at that. Jeez. Okay. But no, we're just looking for like AHL kind of players that are up in the top part of this section here. So like Jason Spezza, I would be happy with. If we could pick him up from Montreal, let him play a year or two in the AHL, I would be totally good with that. And we're looking to trade guys like, who else did I have shortlisted in here? I wanted to move Schneider, and I wanted to move Hrivik. I think that's enough, but Montreal has too many skaters otherwise. So let's go with, like, we don't want a 71 rated defenseman. We want a guy that's lower rated than that. So like that, maybe. All right, that looks good. And we'll hit best roster again, see how the lineups are looking. Probably going to be a little different, but everything should be good still. So that first line is not going to work like that. Let's try moving some things around, see if we can actually get a chemistry boost in here or not. I know that top line is going to work. Besides that, does Kessler not fit anywhere? I guess he doesn't. Yikes. Alright, so I think this is how we are going to run the AHL lineup. It's looking really good now. I'm happy with it for sure. +1 chemistry boost all the way through. And, well, where did Jason Spezza end up? I guess he ended up in the NHL system there. Kind of just chilling out where he is. As far as the defense goes in this team, this guy we do not want in there. I would much rather prefer to have Emery. And even though, yeah, he's a 0, it doesn't really matter. That should be fine either way. And then in goal, obviously Kuro and Abister. So Abister is coming up here over the next few years. He's going to get better for sure. But, you know, still got some work left to do with those guys. As far as the NHL goes, doesn't look like they really changed anything here. Oh, they threw Jason Spezza in over Brand Steves, which I do not appreciate. I would much rather have Steves playing in there. And then they also threw Cuckoo in. They threw Mark Stahl in over Justin Braun. And Justin Braun obviously gets a better chemistry there. So that's how our lineup's looking. Not going to change anything else. And I think we are pretty much set here with our lineup. So that's how the teams are looking. I'm looking forward to using these, or not using these teams, but seeing how these teams do in the regular season. We are going to take a quick peek at the draft class just to see what's going on here. And, well, we do have a franchise center here in Esteban Slaney. And he plays like Wayne Gretzky. He's tiny. He's actually quite undersized, to be honest. So maybe we get some trade offers going here. Try to, potentially land another franchise player in this team. That would be insane. And he looks insane just with his stats there overall. Besides that, Shane Wright's still a good player. Kiloma looks like he might be pretty solid too. And yeah, no, there's just a lot of options here in this draft by the looks of it. So, I mean, on the top end of the draft anyways, there's options. So, I don't know how our team's going to do. This same team last year probably would have done better than we actually did. So, it's really hard to judge. But we're going to sim through pretty much the majority of this season here. Maybe we'll try to make a draft trade here, like pick up another first-round pick, but I can't remember how many picks we currently possess. I think it might just be our own. Oh, no, never mind. Okay, so we got Florida and Nashville's pick as well. We can trade for up to 2 more draft picks, possibly, so maybe that's where we use a guy like Brant Clark, see what teams are actually looking to move their first-rounders. And, well, the Edmonton Oilers say that they're ready to move their first-rounders. And by the looks of it, their first-rounders are not super valuable, so 2 firsts and a second. It might pay off, probably won't. Oh, I just realized we actually cannot go for their second-rounder this year because we already possess 2 second-rounders. So we're going to try throw in Brant Clark in there. Drop that pick and see, just 2 firsts. I think this will go through. And it's accepted. All right. So that looks good. We pick up 2 more first rounders. Not in the exact same draft, but, you know, the Edmonton Oilers are pretty good at tanking when there's a franchise player available. So maybe we're making the right decision. Maybe we're not. But, you know, it's an elite in an attempt to get a franchise center, because we really currently don't have a franchise kind of forward yet. We've got some good players. Yes, we got like Lafreniere, who, you know, has the potential to possibly end up as a franchise player. I don't see that happening necessarily, so that's why we're looking into these other guys. And I mean, to be honest, Brand Steves, his faceoffs aren't that good, so there is a possibility that we end up moving him over to the wing. He would probably end up being a left winger by the looks of it as well, just because he's left-handed, but you really don't know. I don't think we're even going to be close on this franchise player as far as landing him. But, yeah, we're going to jump into a full season sim now. I'm going to get some more scouting done on the draft, but I will see you guys at the end of the 2021/22 season. We are currently about halfway through the season right now with the Tigers in the 2021/22 season, and I almost forgot one of the rules I put in on this franchise mode was that players that aren't drafted by us are only allowed to play for us for 3 seasons. So that includes players such as Kasperi Kapanen. He's actually one of our most valued guys that's played a full 3 seasons now almost, and you know, we want to get some return on him rather than just having him walk. And yes, he only has 1 year left, but that contract's actually a really good deal. I think a lot of teams would be looking to, pick him up. Another guy here is Travis Sanheim. I mean, he hasn't had a great time here in Hamilton, but he's grown quite a bit, and I think he'll be a good piece for other teams. Same with Vince Dunn. He's been here for 3+ seasons, or he's on his 3rd season now. Fabry has as well. I believe Bjorkstrand has too. And, you know, these are guys that you don't want to let them walk. You want to get some kind of pieces in return for them. Versus there's guys here like Paul Byron we've had for a while. And he's been between the AHL and the NHL here with us. So, I mean, he's got 2 years left. I think we're okay to just release him at the end of that. Same thing with Mark Stahl here. He is just about done. This is his last season, and he's got 1 year left. Same with Vetrano, Firk, and Wood, but all those guys I think we are okay to let walk just because they're not super high rated or high valued. But we are going to be looking into trades for a lot of different players here. I think I'm going to use a trade finder for a lot of these, but yeah, we do have about 5 guys or 6 guys that we have to move here. Vatanen we could go after in exchange for Sanheim. That's not a bad deal, actually. And then I think we could pick up like a 3rd or 4th rounder off of them. You can try a 3rd. See if that should go through right there. And that's not a terrible deal. They're very close to the same contract space. Vatanen's actually a right-handed defenseman, so that works out just fine for us. And he has 3 years left on his deal too. They reject that probably because it's a 3rd rounder. So let's try like a 5th. Actually, what picks do we have available here that we can still land? 2 seconds, 2 thirds, 2 fourths, 5th, 6th, 7th. So yeah, we can land a 5th. And all right, that gets accepted, so I'm happy with that. That should work just fine. The next guy would be Vince Dunn, and we'll see if we can, we're trying to get a defenseman in return for him. And by the looks of it, everybody just wants to offer picks. Yikes, bro. I mean, I would love a guy like Ethan Bear. I think he'd be really good to pick up, but that's actually almost equal. So maybe we pick up a 6th round pick as well in this and just call it a day. And that's pretty good. Okay. So we pick up Ethan Bear as well. And let's just go edit the lines again quickly. The only other players we have to move now are Fabry, Kapanen, and Bjorkstrand. Okay. That is doable. So maybe we try to put like a package together here. Go like Bjorkstrand and Fabry. We're going to go with, okay, I'm going to try to find something for Kapanen here because he's actually one of the more valued guys. I'm looking for a team that is interested in at least 2 out of these 3 players. It looks like Anaheim wants all of these guys, funny enough. But what do they have to offer in return? As you can see, all these guys are on 1-year deals. They're like expiring, so. Okay, so I'm kind of feeling like the Oilers and the Panthers picks aren't exactly going to land us a lot. So we could try this, give them Edmonton's pick, and then take their pick next year. Okay, so that gets accepted, and I think that'll work. So we did make a big move there. And, well, let's see how the lines are looking now. We are considered a rebuilder now. Nice, okay. And they seriously changed the lines on me here. Ooh, that top line looks nice. I'm still feeling Spezza as the odd man out here. Oh, actually, we got Corey Perry in there too. See, those lines actually look pretty fine to me. Like, I'm not worried with that. See, I do want Troy Terry in, though. I'd prefer him in over Ferk. So, wait, who's got better face-offs? 74 or 77. So Steves is still playing center. So we got Terry and Perry on the one wing. We actually improved our chemistry there somehow with those trades. I don't know how. Don't ask me how, because I literally cannot explain it to you guys. And then, for whatever reason, they put Mark Stolen over Braun again. And, yeah, no, that's actually, like, that lineup is just fine. It looks good still. So, like, I don't understand why. Oh, you know who the other guy is that we haven't moved yet that's on his 3rd year with the Tigers is UC Saros, I believe. Yeah. Does he only have 1 year left on his contract, or what's his contract looking like? Saros has got 2 years left, so that's not good. That means we're going to have to trade him. So let's see what teams are in need of a backup goaltender, and we'll take a slightly lower rated one. In exchange, as you can see, Abister is obviously our most valued goalie right now, and he's only 68 rated. So, yeah, these trades are, like, we have to make them. Otherwise, we just lose value on players and we don't get anything in return. But at the same time, it sucks because, like, a bunch of these guys have got some decent, like, they've built up decent identities with this team. And by the looks of it, nobody really wants Saros. Calgary does. I'll take on Tyler Parsons. Or is it Tyler Parsons? Yeah. Yeah, I'll take him on. He's drafted by Calgary. That's decent. And they reject that because he's younger. Okay. So here's where the plethora of picks comes in handy. Is because we can actually make trades here fairly easily. So let's go with Anaheim's 4th rounder. That's too much, actually. Let's go with a 5th or 6th rounder, I guess. Let's go with St. Louis's 5th rounder. And no, okay, they don't want to give him up. So I guess we are going with a 4th. They want a 3rd round pick along with, wow. That's kind of annoying. Obviously they're gonna take that. That's annoying. Okay, we didn't even get that great a goalie either, which is the funny part. So, yeah, our team kind of goes from hopeful to rebuilder there. That was expected, to be honest, with those trades. But we're gonna jump back into the regular season here, and I will see you guys at the end of the 2021/22 season. Okay, guys, so to end off the 2021/22 season, Another slightly disappointing year from the Tigers. I mean, Lafreniere puts up 61 points, so that's definitely better than what he did the year before. I believe he only had like 38 or something like that. But Luke Leopold had a little bit of growth as well. There's a couple guys in here that honestly had pretty solid seasons considering how poor the team played overall. Like Leopold, I'm happy with, man. He's had a good year there. Same thing with Lafreniere, 25 goals. 36 assists. That's very solid. So, hopefully he will start to grow properly here. Another guy there was Nick Matsumoto, had 35 points, so not terrible as a defenseman, but yeah, as you can see, there's definitely not a lot of winning going on with this team. Looking throughout the entire league, the Flyers won the President's Trophy, I believe. Yeah, like nobody. Oh, maybe not. No, the Capitals could. As long as the Flyers get a tie, then they win the President's Trophy. So I think it's safe to say that the Flyers are going to win that. The teams that we had picks from consisted of Florida. They finished 23rd. Our Nashville finished 27th. We finished 28th. And then I believe these other teams we didn't have any of their picks. I can't remember what the fourth team was that we owned the pick of, but yeah, not great as the season goes again. So I think the majority of what's going to happen here is we're just going to sim through the playoffs again, just like we did last year. Actually, the Lions made the playoffs here by the looks of it. So yeah, maybe we'll focus a little bit more on that next episode. And I think the Lions are going to the playoffs here, so. Yeah, the Lions actually did all right. I'm fairly impressed with how many wins they were able to put together, considering they're quote-unquote a rebuilder franchise as well. As you can see, though, the lineup's looking pretty solid overall here. Gunler's up to, wow, okay, we got a lot of growth in here. I am thoroughly impressed with that. So we're going to have some guys up in the team next season by the looks of it. Guys like Bjorkstrand and maybe even Gunler. Those types of guys are seriously putting in the growth here and turning out way better than I was expecting at the end of this season. So I'd say one of the guys I think I'm most impressed with here is Sean Bengoa. Got himself all the way up to a 73 overall at just 18 years old. He had 28 points with the Markham Lions in his rookie season in the OHL, so that's very solid. Bjorkstrand had to have a good year. Yeah, 59 points. That's very solid. What about Vitaly Samsonov? Only 20 points, but, you got to start somewhere, so not bad. 21 for Nylander. What about Jakobsen here? 32 points. That's really good. And then the other guys would be like Noel Gunler. Had 32 points as well. So, yeah, no, there's some solid growth here in the team. 48 points for Braxton Walton. He's a playmaker, isn't he? Yeah, we drafted him 20th overall a couple years back. And yeah, no, the team's looking good. I want to check Abister. I'm hoping he got enough growth here to possibly grab a starting job next season. And he's up to a 69. Not bad, but he is also 21 years old already. And yeah, 12 wins in 20 games. Not a bad save percentage, to be honest. But yeah, we do want to see slightly more growth there for Quincy Abister. So overall, the Lions are looking good. The Tigers, not so much. But yeah, it was a bit of a rough season overall. This lineup is still, it's still intact. It's a decent lineup. We made some trades, made some changes, and I mean, as you can see there, it didn't help really to have all these changes being made. Only 21 wins in almost 60 games for Tristan Jarry there. Not exactly playing like he did in Pittsburgh, so yeah, safe to say that he kind of got hung out to dry this season, even with the two top defenders we have there. Maybe we'll be looking to make a trade involving Pietrangelo next episode, but as of right now, I'm going to wrap up this episode here. We will get into the Calder Cup playoffs with the Lions next episode, but that is going to be it for me. If you guys are enjoying this series so far, go down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new, leave a like on the video, and don't be afraid to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. But that is going to be it for me. This is Etanyos signing out, and see ya!